Hold your ears, folks. It's showtime.
Welcome to the motherfucking
utterly pointless
podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host,
the greatest man in the world, Michael.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Utterly Pointless Podcast. I am your host, Michael. So, it's been almost 2 weeks since I did a show, and I did it right before I went to the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view. And I know the last show is an all-wrestling show, and this is going to be a very short wrestling show as well. I do have another show pretty much in the can. I was kind of holding out to do one more segment and kind of throw on the end of it. So hopefully that'll be up in the next few days, but I wanted to get this one out before the weekend because WWE Battleground pay-per-view will be heading your way on Sunday. And so I decided that I have to do a pre-show so I could get my picks out there and kind of give just a quick rundown on what I think is going to happen. I'm not going to go too much into what's happened on RAW or SmackDown over the last couple weeks. Touch on RAW a little bit just because of one of the things that's happened on the show the other night with Kurt Angle that made me want to fucking pound my head against the wall, because you see a lot of storylines going nowhere, and that was one of them with no payoff. First, we'll just kind of run through Battleground. We'll go through the matches, kind of give you a few opinions on what the match is, why we're having this match, what it consists of, who I think is going to win. I do need to point out that I did go to Great Balls of Fire, which I mentioned last time, which is a pretty good pay-per-view overall. Probably the only thing about it that really pissed me off was a couple of the endings of the matches. Like the women's championship match, for instance, was a great match, I thought. I mean, it was definitely above average match for the women. Love Sasha Banks, love Alexa Bliss, so it was fantastic seeing them go at it. I hate a count out. I hate a count out anytime. There should never be fucking count outs, but especially in a championship match on a pay-per-view, that's ridiculous. I mean, I don't care if there's some type of interference or cheating, but count outs, they gotta stop that shit. On a regular Raw show or SmackDown, whatever. I don't give a fuck. But not at a pay-per-view. I think, although at first I was a little pissed because I did want Samoa Joe to win, the betting odds and the way they're booking it, it seemed like they're booking him really strong, so you knew that they're not going to be just a 3 or 4 minute squash match, that there would actually be something to it. But the way they had him come out and just take it to Lesnar at first and put him through the table and taking a couple of the cheap shots with the kick to the nuts, which I love that move, especially seeing it live, watching him get him up against the ropes and the ref comes over and he kind of bear hugs the ref to talk to him as he's kicking backwards and putting his heel right into the sack of Lesnar. I thought that was fantastic. I thought because of the opening and then, getting away with a couple little kind of dirty moves like that maybe they would allow Joe to win. And then, of course, Lesnar would have, his gripe, and then they could continue this on at SummerSlam. That was kind of wishful thinking. The way it started out, I thought it was going to go that way. The match only ended up being about 10 minutes, which, let's be honest, for a Lesnar match, that's pretty lengthy. But, overall, is good pay-per-view. I was pretty happy. And my predictions were pretty good. I only fucked up one, and that was the first match of the night. True match of the night, because of course I did pick the Neville Akira Tozawa match, which was on the kickoff show, which I thought that they may move up and add a match onto the card, which didn't happen. A little disappointed, wanted to see Finn Balor, even if it was against Elias Sampson, but whatever, that's fine. I'll catch him another time when they roll through. But the Bray Wyatt, Seth Rollins, I did get that wrong. I did predict Seth Rollins. That was a terrible story, and I bitched about it on the preview show last time. I mean, they basically threw it together. They really had no interaction or chemistry. They had basically Bray cheat, put a thumb in the eye of Seth, which that's how he got the victory, whatever. And then they had him go at it again on Raw, where he kind of went at that spot again. I think he headbutted him in the eye, or I can't remember exactly what it was now, but he kind of did another little shaky move, a little shady, not like it was illegal, but and he took that victory, and that seemed to be it. And now they've already kind of moved on to other things. Now they've got Rollins and Ambrose working against The Miz and the Miztourage. So that really was just like, we need to get Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins on this pay-per-view. How can we do that? We'll just have Bray Wyatt interrupt Seth Rollins every time he comes to the ring, and then they'll have a match. And that's all there was to it. And then now he's back to Finn Balor, so I guess we're going to get Bray versus Finn at SummerSlam now. That's where that's heading, but like I said, I'm not getting into that. The one thing on Raw, and I know I said I was going to give the Battleground stuff, and then I kind of went off on tangent, and you know what? Fuck it. This is my show. I do what I want. The one other thing on Raw, besides the Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman thing, is the Kurt Angle. I don't even know. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. They set this up over, it seems like, a month and a half, 2 months, these phone calls to Corey Graves and these text messages, and oh my god, this is going to ruin my career and all this stuff. You're looking for this huge build-up. Like, I want to find out that he fucking murdered somebody and somebody found the body, or I mean, let's do something. And I hate this, and I say this all the time, wrestling is a soap opera for men, even though a lot of women are into it as well, but that's kind of what it is. It's soap opera for fucking men. And I understand some of the storylines, like Daniel Bryan marrying AJ, or you throw in stupid shit like that, and it pops up all the time, and it's whatever. I know they have to mix in some different things for feuds and to change it up and make it somewhat fresh, even though it's kind of the same shit over and over, like a soap opera where it's pretty much the same 4 or 5 different things. They just kind of repackage them and repurpose them, and we'll have a 2-year, like, we haven't had a good marriage in a while, so I'm sure we'll have one of those in the next couple years, or some fucking dumb stuff like that. But it's like the whole he's Jason Jordan's dad, which there was rumors going around for it, and everybody thought it was going to be Chad Gable, because they haven't shown Jason Jordan, and they've been kind of promoting Chad Gable on SmackDown. He's had a few matches. I mean, he got a really good match against AJ a couple weeks ago, and he's been featured a little bit more. He's got more screen time, even if it's just a quick segment in the backstage where he pops up for a second, where we have not seen American Alpha at all practically for months. I mean, they've just been written off the damn show, like the Ascension, basically, as far as the tag team goes. So it was a dud. I'm sorry, but that announcement, like, oh, I have an illegitimate son, and this was what was going to ruin my career. It's like, yeah, maybe in the 50s, dude. It's like, I don't know if you're keeping up with the times these days, but you can get away with a lot of shit. And you could even become president doing a lot of fucked up shit you couldn't do back in the day, or at least bragging about it. So it's not really something that would have taken you down. Yeah, your wife might be pissed. That might have not gone over good at home. But other than that, this was a non-story, and I don't know where they're going to go with it from here. But we'll find out soon enough, and quite honestly at this point, I don't really care. All I know is they broke up American Alpha, which didn't make a lot of sense. I would have liked to see them repackage him a little bit, maybe even turn him heel, give him a little run with the title. I know they threw the title on for like all of 2 seconds initially when they came up, but really put on him, gave him a little bit of a run first before they put him in the singles competition. Although Chad Gable looks great, I gotta say, I'm excited to see what they do with him, because he's definitely got something. That match with AJ was really solid for a first time like singles go. At least as far as I've seen him. Just touch on Braun and Roman real fast. I don't know exactly what they're doing with this. However, because of the whole Samoa Joe match and Braun breaking up, it looks like they're going for a fatal 4-way at SummerSlam with Lesnar, which I think's a good way to go, because I don't want to see Roman take the belt off of him, and having a fatal 4-way allows him to put on possibly Joe or Strowman, which I think Strowman would be great. Then they could battle it out through Survivor Series. Lesnar could get it back if they want to go ahead and have the Reigns versus Lesnar, at WrestleMania, if that's where they want to go. Although there's been hinting that possibly John Cena versus Reigns could be the thing now. We'll see how that plays out. Anyway, let me go ahead and do Battleground. Then there's one other thing I want to touch on with the women's tournament. And then just a little bit of dirt that's out there. So, Battleground this week. Right now on the card, it's a pretty full card as far as I can't see them adding matches to it. They already have, for the kickoff show, Ty Dillinger versus Aiden English, which I don't know what happened to Ty Dillinger. I mean, he was pretty popular in NXT. He was starting to get a little bit of a following. And then I was at the Royal Rumble, and when he came out at 10, you had 50,000 people doing the 10 chant. And I know it's a chant, and I know there's that part of it. Like, there's people that come out, and it's like Daniel Bryan. I mean, a lot of people are like, are they popping for him because of is it the chant, or is it actually Daniel Bryan? You got that sometimes, and I know how they could come off, but there was some momentum behind him, and it definitely showed. And to bring him up to the main roster, and he's basically been non-existent. I mean, I know the last couple of weeks he's popped up on the show, but he's done nothing, that's stand out. And Aiden English, it's a weird thing too, since, that tag team went by the wayside, the Vaudevillain, since his partner was let go. And he became a singles competitor. I mean, he's popped up a couple times and had a couple little backstage segment, Here he is, wave at the camera, and you don't see him again. So this is basically like, we need a little bit of filler on the card. You two have barely been on. We're going to throw you a bone and put you on the kickoff match. But there's no push for either of these guys. They are the filler of the fucking SmackDown crew as of right now. However, I have to feel, since I'll do a prediction on it, because, like I said, I've only missed one in the last two pay-per-views, and hopefully I'll be able to keep up my awesomeness. I'm going to go with Ty Dillinger, because I think he did have a little bit more as he came up. Aiden English has been on the roster for a while. Vaudevillains never did anything. And again, neither one of these guys are really getting airtime or getting any type of a push. This is a filler match. That's why it's on the kickoff show. So be it. The next match that we'll go into is the Tag Team Championship match, which is the New Day and the Usos. I like both of these tag teams as far as, I'm not a New Day fan. I mean, they are entertaining on the mic sometimes. They annoy the shit out of me, but I understand that they are all good on the mic. The Usos are okay on the mic, and they've been a team forever. The very first live event I ever went to, a handful of years ago, the first match I ever saw was the Usos, and don't ask me who they wrestled against because I don't remember now. So they've been together forever. They're a well-oiled machine. I have to assume, though, that because of the lack of tag teams now, again, American Alpha's gone. So you have the Ascension. You have Breezango. You have the Usos. You have New Day. And the Colognes are out of action because one of them, Primo Epico, I can't tell them apart. One of them is injured right now. So you literally have no tag teams in the division. And then there's supposed to be of course, with the Fashion Police. They've had their office trashed and they've been fucked with over the past few weeks, and they haven't figured out who did it. And then they get their little message saying that they'll find out at Battleground. So, I mean, they already had the Ascension show up, and it wasn't them. at the last pay-per-view and take them on and say, hey, we just wanted to get on TV. We weren't the ones that attacked you guys or whatever, or checked, Tyler Breeze. So the only thing I could think is because the Raw Championship, and there's things going on with that right now, maybe they bring someone over from Raw since Jason Jordan went over to Raw. And they basically split up that tag team. Maybe they'd bring one of the tag teams over, because there's no one in NXT I could see bringing up. Now, if they wouldn't have split up DIY, that would have made a lot of sense to me. Because on their own, I don't know if Ciampa and Gargano are going to be great singles competitors, but they were hugely popular in NXT, and I don't understand. Man, they really love killing tag teams now. I mean, we've seen, of course, I say Goldust and R-Truth. That's not much of one. Enzo and Cass breaking up American Alpha. I mean, they're not keeping any tag teams together. I've heard rumors possibly just thrown out that maybe the Club would move over, to SmackDown, and I guess that's a possibility. It's always a possibility. But if they come over, they'll probably keep them as heels. I'd like to see them turn face and possibly join with Finn Balor. But that would make some sense, and they probably won't do that. Anyway, with this match, I don't really... This one's a tough one to call. This is one where I'm kind of pulling out my ass. I almost want to feel like they'll go with the New Day just because the Usos have had it for a while now. And it's been such... The tag team division is so dead or blasé on SmackDown. But I have to assume that maybe they'll try and inject some life into it and put the titles on New Day. I mean, they are the longest running... Well, they were the longest running tag team champions of all time. So, fuck it. Let's just throw it back on them and see what they can do for this division. But they've got to put some tag teams together. Otherwise, what's the point of even having a tag team division if you only have 4 tag teams? The next match that I've got listed is Shinsuke Nakamura and Baron Corbin. This is an easy one. They've built Shinsuke up to be a badass. I mean, the way that they handled him, I don't really love it, but, the whole rock star theme and everything with him, and they have tried to push him as, a mega badass, and flirting with him and AJ a couple times, and then putting them tagging together. They're definitely putting him up there as a marquee name. Baron's already got the suitcase. He's ready to go. He's ready to take that title. There's no point in him winning this match, and they really haven't. I don't know. This is another one where it's like, I like Baron Corbin. I like how he's developed. I love Shinsuke, but the build to this has been kind of bad. Just brawling, they haven't had, they've tried to put them in matches, but then they start brawling and that's it beforehand, or they just attack each other. Of course with the tag, they put them in the tag matches and stuff, but I don't know. The whole build to it, of course, is, Baron attacking Shinsuke before the Money in the Bank ladder match. I mean, that's where everything starts from. But I just haven't seen just this great build to this where I really am invested in it. I do want to see the match. I think it'll be a good match. But again, I don't see why Shinsuke would lose. Baron's already got the briefcase on him. He's ready to roll. He doesn't have to win. And we see this a lot with the WWE. After Money in the Bank, whoever gets the briefcase, they will tend to lose a lot of matches, before they end up winning the title. It seems to be just this path that they take quite often. So I'm going with Shinsuke in this one. Like I said, I think it'll be a pretty good match, actually. I think Baron Corbin's really come on. I've been impressed with him. Next one we'll do is the 5-way elimination match. Number 1 contender to the women's world title. This is something that SmackDown's doing way too much. Every pay-per-view now is a multi-woman match. I don't know if they just don't trust Naomi to put on a great match by herself unless she's with a Charlotte or Becky, and I guess they just don't want either one of them because they're, so-called faces, the faces right now, Naomi's face. They just don't feel comfortable. Like, I know they probably don't want to put on Natalya. Lana's definitely not ready. So I guess their options are kind of limited, so they keep doing this shit to push it off. So Naomi gets her title match not until SummerSlam, so she doesn't even have a match listed for this pay-per-view. Again, because of course she didn't wrestle she wrestled Lana at Money in the Bank. She didn't have a real match at Money in the Bank. I almost think with this little thing they have with Tamina and Lana, that's what decided who's going to win this match for me, because it makes sense a heel wins. Of course, we know that Carmella's not going to be a part of it. She's already got the briefcase. So, no point in her being in it, really. Like I said, Lana's too green. She's not ready to go. I don't think they want to put on Natalya. I can't stand Natalya, by the way. So, I don't see a face getting it. What I see it coming down to, most likely, is either someone... They're not going to want Charlotte to go out first, of course, because she's got to hang around. I would see maybe Becky Lynch being the first one out, and then they'll probably go back and forth, though. Then maybe Natalya. I mean, we never know until... I don't know how they're doing this. It is an elimination match, so I guess it's... I get a little confused myself on these, so you guys might know exactly what this is, but I don't know if it's just one at a time comes in. I guess it's not a gauntlet match, so I guess they all start off together. So you're going to have some ganging up. But I would see maybe like a Becky Lynch going out first, actually, since she's been the closest in both of the ladder matches to winning and then kind of having it taken away from her. You know, get her out first, especially after getting the big victory over Charlotte on SmackDown. You think she's got some momentum. Get her out of there. Get Natalya out of there quick. I want to see it come down to Lana, Tamina, and Charlotte, and then Tamina and Lana work together to get Charlotte out. And I think Tamina's going to win it. I think Tamina is solid when they give her a chance. And she's a big girl, kind of a strong girl, kind of like she's the more, I'd say, athletic, like a Nia Jax, where Nia Jax is just the big monster. I think Tamina, I mean, of course, she's not as big as Nia Jax, not just size-wise, height and everything, but Tamina's got that presence about her. And I think she's done good work, and they've had her have a couple pins in the last few weeks, too, so it's not like she's just been laying low. And this whole kind of like picking up Lana and putting her under a wing, you know, that's her little fucking Tamina Jr., you know, she's getting her ready to go, and part of that, protecting her, would be her helping her win this match. I think that may give her the 2-on-everybody advantage, so to speak, to push her to get to it. Now, I don't know if that's going to go any further. Maybe Lana helps her get out Charlotte, or does some moves to Charlotte. Charlotte maybe can get the pin on Lana, but it's enough of a holdover that Tamina gets in and gets her super kick in, or gets a move off that can put Charlotte out. So that's the way I think it'll end up. Probably wrong on that one. These are tougher matches, and I haven't really seen anything to show me one way or the other. I'm just going to go by census saying Hill's probably going to win. Won't be Natalya. Definitely it shouldn't be Lana. So Tamina kind of wins by deduction. So we'll see. So far, I think I'm kicking ass. I think I got all these right. We'll see, though. I think I do. Next, we'll do the match of the night as far as I'm concerned, and that's AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. So awesome that AJ won the United States title at Madison Square Garden at a house show. I think that's so fucking cool when they do that. They've done it, since I've been watching wrestling over the last handful of years. It's only happened twice, and it's happened both times within about the last year and a half. Previously, I know some people don't keep up with NXT as much, but at the time, Finn Balor's champion, and Samoa Joe was the contender, and I think they were in Massachusetts. I might be wrong on that. And Samoa Joe won the title from Finn Balor at a house show on NXT title. So it's kind of cool when they do that, you know, because anybody who goes to the house show knows that all the belts are on the line. But let's face it, we always know that whoever has the belt is going to win the match. Because it never happens. There's never title changes. So to throw one in occasionally like this, it kind of makes the house shows feel important. You know, like, could this be the night? You know, But I'll tell you right now, it's never going to be, because I had listened to a show the other day, a wrestling show, and they were going through like the history of these house shows in the more modern era. Because back in the day, of course, all shows were house shows and not televised. But over, let's say, the last decade or two, since Raw's been on the air, all the big matches are televised. There's only been, maybe like a dozen of these, and the vast majority of them have happened at Madison Square Garden. So unless you're going to Madison Square Garden for a house show, you're probably not going to see one. But you never know. At least they throw that little nugget at you every once in a while, so it's potential. But no, it's pretty awesome. I was a little surprised. I mean, I figured AJ would win the title at Battleground. And even though this occurred, I'm not changing my stance on that. I don't think Owens will win it back. Although, the only thing that would make me kind of think he will is for the fact that they might keep this going, because I don't know how they're going to move things for SummerSlam. So I don't know how they're going to do it because of the split rosters, how many matches a piece we're going to get. We know like every fucking title is going to be on the line pretty much at SummerSlam. So it's going to be it's going to be a 4.5, 5 hour event. It's going to be like WrestleMania. So I don't know how everything's going to work out. That's a month and a half, 2 months from now. So we're not going to even worry about it. But in this match, love Kevin Owens, love AJ. I think it's going to be phenomenal. No pun intended. And AJ's going to retain. I'd like to see him push it, so maybe by SummerSlam or something we're heading toward an AJ Nakamura, but that's not going to happen. I think that's a WrestleMania match if we do ever get that one. The next match is one that I don't give a shit about, and that's John Cena versus Rusev in a flag match. The promo the other night that John Cena did, he's talking about like fucking 9/11 in Pearl Harbor, and one thing that they've got going on SmackDown now is a very lack of originality, because you have the foreigner, the evil foreigner versus the All-American and Rusev John Cena storyline, and then guess what we have in the main championship match with Orton and Jinder Mahal? It's the scary foreigner versus the All-American guy. It's like, oh my god, dude, you bring John Cena back so we could do the same thing we're already doing with Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton? And I hate when the USA, look, dude, I'm an American, I was in the military, I think this country's got a lot of great things about it. I'm not real happy with the way a lot of things go, and most people are fucking retards, and they piss me off, and I can't stand them, but I have lived in Europe, and I've been around, and I know that, I'm glad that I was born and raised here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to complain about that, but man, the whole USA chants, and, because Jinder Mahal comes out, the turban and stuff, and the boos, and some of the comments, and the chant, it's like, I can't handle it, man. And I know John Cena's a great talker, face of the franchise, I get it. He's a huge star, bigger in life. I was fine with him being away, and I get it, they got to bring him back, and Rusev's coming back, and that gives them an opportunity to have a match, because they haven't had an opportunity to build him into anything. Same with Rusev. So it's like, hey, the two guys that just came back, we'll throw them together, and we'll do the same shtick that we've done before with these same two fucking guys. If you don't recall, they had a program together back in the day, and very similar. Rusev, only then I think he was playing more up the Russian thing. They'd put the Putin stuff on the screen and everything, if you remember that. Probably not going to be doing the Putin thing now with the current climate, but the only thing I could say in this match is the fact that they made a flag match, that potentially, because anyway, it's John Cena wins, hands down. But because they did make the stipulation with the flag match, I do actually see an opportunity for Rusev to win this. Cena doesn't have to win, especially in a match like this where it's a flag match. It's not a pin or submission situation. He can lose this and it doesn't make him look weak. But for Rusev to come back, and I think you want to build up all your guys, and I think Rusev is definitely an upper mid-card guy. I mean, he's a guy that could be a contender for United States or the WWE Championship at some point. So to bring him back and then try and bury him under Cena right off the bat doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like I said, before the stipulation was involved and when Cena came back, we knew they're going to do this match. I would have said Cena 110%. But I'm going to take a flyer on this, and I'm going to say because it is a flag match, and it's not going to hurt Cena to lose it, but it'll definitely help elevate Rusev to win it. I am going to say, crossing my fingers here, Rusev will win this match. And I'm probably going to fuck up, miss it, and be like, why did I go against Cena? That's like going against Roman Reigns. Although I did pick Strowman to win Great Balls of Fire, and he did win. Technically, he won, even though Roman tried to kill him after the match. How did he not go to jail for that? That's attempted murder. It's ridiculous. Anyway, last match. Match of the night. Not. Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton for the 50th time in a Punjabi Prison match. Now, I don't remember the last time they had a Punjabi Prison match, which I guess was about 10 years ago. And when they willed that fucking thing, like, of course, they've been promoting it, so they showed pictures of it. But on SmackDown, when they brought that damn thing down, I realized how big it was. I mean, it takes up the whole ringside, everything. It's ridiculous. And first of all, I'm going to say this. If I was in the audience to see that, because I've been to a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view before live. It was in Dallas once. And you could see pretty good at the Hell in a Cell, like even inside the cell and stuff. Your vision's a little skewed because of the, the barring and stuff. But you could still see what's going on. That fucking thing where it's like 2 layers of bamboo, man, if I was in the audience, I'd be pissed because I don't know how you're going to be able to see into that thing to see a fucking thing going on. Now, I know on TV, which I'll be watching it, unfortunately, I won't be able to attend Battleground. I don't even know where the fuck it is. Philadelphia? I don't know. Doesn't matter. All I know is this. I'll be able to see it because they'll have cameramen inside that. So I'll be able to see what's going on. I would be pissed if I was at that place because there's no fucking way they're going to be able to see what's going on inside that match. And plus the thing is, it's just whoever escapes it first. Now, great thing is, the Singh brothers, you would think, well, keeps them out. Dude, of course they could climb into the fucking ring and get involved. So, there's going to be interference. And I don't understand why, if they're doing the Punjabi Prison match, which of course should benefit Jinder Mahal, he's the one that picked the stipulation, why would you take it off of him? The one thing, and this goes back to the Cena-Rusev match, being a flag match again, I don't think Cena has to win it. But I think the game plan would be for SummerSlam, and I think I brought this up before in the last match, just riffing, or the last podcast talking about Great Balls of Fire, just riffing, is I would imagine what's going to happen is Jinder Mahal's going to retain the title, and then you'll get Cena versus Mahal at SummerSlam, where he can win and get the 17th. He's tied at 17? How many did fucking... Hey, somebody tell me real quick, whisper in my ear. How many fucking titles did Ric Flair have? He had 17, right? So Cena tied it at the Rumble. That's all I fucking know. He's tied with Ric Flair. I think I'm 17. I think that's it. Don't yell at me. Don't be cussing at me now if you're listening to this because I don't remember. I had too much shit going on. I got baby coming any day now. Oh, my God. A couple more weeks. I'm going to be fucking daddy again. Well, I mean, I guess I'll still be a dad, but, you know what I'm saying. A lot of shit going on, which... Guess what? Listen to the next podcast. You get to hear some of that bullshit. Hey, what's up? But that's the next one. That's not this one. This is wrestling. God damn it. We're talking wrestling. So I could see, like I said, Cena still winning it. But like I said, he doesn't need to fucking have his push toward Mahal after this. Like I said, they got a little over a month to start building after this weekend anyway. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think Jinder's going to retain. Of course, there'll be interference from the Singh brothers. And then you get Cena versus Mahal. And then guess what? He could do a fucking evil foreigner versus All-American guy. The same thing he's just doing now with Rusev that Randy and him are doing. Only they could just fucking trade out Cena for Orton and he could do the exact same unoriginal, fucking uncreative nonsense. And we can get USA chance. And I'll just pull my fucking hair out as I'm watching it. So... those are the matches. Those are my predictions. You know, I think it'll be an okay pay-per-view. Look, I think Great Balls of Fire had a better match card. And like I said, other than a couple of the finishes, I think Great Balls of Fire was actually a pretty good pay-per-view. I mean, I was pretty happy with it since I was there. It's better than a few of them I've seen recently. This one, like I said, there's a couple matches that have some real potential. I think the AJ Owens match is by far and away the superior match. Cena can make any match good, and I think Rusev is underrated. I think that'll be a decent match. Just for the spectacle of it, I'm a little bit into seeing the Orton Jinder Mahal match. I think it's going to be a terrible match, but like I said, the spectacle of the whole Punjabi Prison aspect and stuff, it's new and different, and it'll keep me entertained for about 5 minutes, and then if the match sucks, then I'll start fucking playing on my phone and looking at Twitter. But I think it'll be an okay pay-per-view. I wouldn't be happy if I was going to see this one, but I'll be more than happy to watch it on TV after I watch Game of Thrones on Sunday, because then I could fast forward through a little bit of the shit, because like I don't really care about some of the matches, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna fucking fast forward through them. 2 last notes. Mae Young Classic started up. I know I went over a few of the contestants and a couple of the Japanese girls I was very excited to see. I watched the introduction list because I don't know a lot of these women. I mean, most of you won't. If you say you do, you're fucking lying. Like I said, my big pick to click was Kari Hojo. She's going by Kari Sane. I'm not going to spoil it for you. If you looked up the spoilers, they've already done the first couple rounds. The final's already set. The final will be live, however, in September. They'll start showing the matches they've already filmed at the end of August. And they'll do like 2 different airings where they'll show like the first round, the second, third round. I don't know how they're going to do the showings for it. And then the night of SummerSlam or the night after SummerSlam, they're going to, I guess it is SummerSlam. I guess immediately after SummerSlam ends. I think I might be completely fucking wrong on this one. I have to look it up again. Don't fucking get shitty with me if I'm wrong on this, but they're going to go straight to Full Sail because that's where they're doing live the championship match for the women. And like I said, I already know who the 2 women are. If you want to go look it up and do the spoilers, you can. I'll just put it this way. I am very, very happy with my pick. And if that ruins anything for you, well, you know, fuck you. I don't really care. That's your fault. You should be listening to my nonsense. But I'm happy for certain people, and I'm glad that they're doing this, and they're talking about possibly signing like 8 of these 32 women to be in NXT. And like I said, I haven't got a chance to see them all wrestle yet. I've seen a couple of them, and there's definitely a couple in there I think are awesome and really going to do something. Potentially, maybe the next NXT Women's Champion could be out of this. However, if they're smart, they'll have Ember Moon won the Contenders match on NXT this week, and she'll take on Asuka at the pay-per-view the night before SummerSlam. And I assume Asuka's going to beat her. Although if there's one woman I would be okay with taking the title off Asuka, it would be Ember Moon. I love her. She's great. She's hot. She's from Dallas. Well, she's from Garland, Texas, but they always say Dallas, and that's because nobody knows what the fuck Garland is. It's basically right outside Dallas for you non-Texas people. But she's fantastic. But I'd like to see her lose Asuka, and then I'd like to see Asuka say, fuck it, I've kicked everybody's ass here, I'm tired of beating all yo asses, I'm moving up to main, and then drop that shit, and then the night after SummerSlam, show up, you know, on the main roster. But I would like to see her vacate the title because she hasn't lost yet. So it'd be nice to just say, hey, can't be beaten, I'm vacating it, and not take a loss. So we'll see. Last but not least, it looks like Paige may never come back to the WWE. Sadly, reports are out that her and Alberto Del Rio, I guess there's been some physical violence and there's some issues at an Orlando airport. Rumor mill has it. He's with Global Force or Impact Wrestling, whatever the fuck they call it these days. And it looks like they are basically going to take the title off him now. They filmed that shit way in advance, so I think the next 2 or 3 shows he's supposed to be on, and because he's so deep in the storyline, they can't take him or cut him out of the show, change it up. But that looks like a bad situation, and it's kind of fun. It's not funny, but even on Total Divas, when she was getting involved with him, it looked like a lot of the girls were like, really, Alberto Del Rio? I don't know if that's a good idea, Paige. They were kind of saying stuff to him then, and even though we know that, you know, about 75% of the Total Divas is bullshit and staged, I think there was definitely some realism in it with some of the relationships and stuff, and they just, you know, then take those and turn them into cartoons. But there's definitely some real shit that happens in it, and they play off of it. And her relationship with Alberto Del Rio is definitely one of them. And with all the shit she's been through, with the fucking porn coming out with her, the sex tapes, you know, especially the one where she's getting gangbanged, I guess, by Xavier Woods and Brad Maddox, and now this relationship and everything evolved and coming off this injury, and I don't know. I kind of feel bad for her, but I kind of don't, because she seemed like kind of trashy and awful on Total Divas personality-wise. Like, I loved her in NXT when she came up to Maine. I was a huge Paige fan, and then I started watching Total Divas with her, and it kind of made me hate her. So probably should have never watched it. I was like, ugh, she's kind of gross and trashy, and you know, but you feel bad for her. But that's the dirt news coming down this week. So, you know, that may be it. So Paige, like, she's only like 23, 24. I mean, she's extremely young. But I think her career with WWE is probably already over. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, her brothers are tweeting shit about Alberto Del Rio being abusive and controlling and everything to their sister. So it seems like a bad situation. You know, hopefully she can wise up and get out of that at least, if nothing else. But, yep, feel bad for Paige, and, you know, more power to her. Just to recap, Battleground this weekend, guys. It's going to be awesome. Probably won't do another wrestling show until right before SummerSlam. On the other show, I may throw in a few nuggets here and there about something I see on RAW or SmackDown, but not a total all-in. This is a fucking wrestling show. Again, until before SummerSlam. So like I said, that's a little over a month and a half away. Got a couple other shows and some things I'm thinking of that I'm going to try and, you know, bust out before then. So we'll see what happens. Thank you, motherfuckers, for listening. I love you guys. I love you so very much. Why don't you come over to my house and I'll caress you and we'll sleep together sometime. Oh, fuck. But until then, go fuck yourselves.